Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my February 2019 horoscope report for you. Go to anniehelpsyou.com to check out my blog and all kinds of other goodies on my site, including enrollment for my astrology apprenticeship program if you'd love to learn astrology with me. Also, if you'd love to be a coach as your profession and bring your business online, my coach certification and online business training course is enrolling now. And I have launched my new publishing company, Luminous Life Publishing, Books and Beyond, and along with it, my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days. So you can see more about this prayer book that is for all denominations at anniehelpsyou.com. So February is one of my most favorite months of the whole year of 2019 for so many things, for launches. Also, we've got 3 times the sweetness, 3 times as many sweet aspects this month. It is an amazing time to do anything important until around February 18th when we start shifting into Mercury retrograde shadow period. So I've got lots and lots of details about my favorite days to do important things, plus a massive amount of details specifically for you and your sign. So let's look at those details now. Hello, Taurus friends. Okay, so I'm going to try on this new structure here with giving you just a few minute overview for all early, middle, and late degree placements. I have had some requests for the people who are in resonance with my work, but do not want all the technical details that I get so excited about that a lot of the people who are studying astrology love. So for those of you who aren't into the technical jargon, I'm just going to give you a quick couple of minute overview of what Taurus energy for the month of February is like. And also know that for those of you who like it super simple, go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. On cozybysweetstarlight.com, I do written horoscopes that are super simple. They're not technical like my videos tend to be, and they'll give you the overview of the month written for your sign. So definitely, I know some of my Taurus friends appreciate more succinctness, and I'm not, that's not my area of expertise in my videos, but on this website, cozybysweetstarlight.com, you can get that succinctness from me. And so that, and then also what I'm about to tell you, may be what you need for the month. And if you're interested in all the juicy details of the breakdown of early, middle, and late degree placements and other aspects of what, more deeper things that are going on for Taurus, then you can stay tuned. Okay, so in general, when the planets move into Aquarius, these are not as comfortable angles for energies of Taurus. So there's a 1, 2, 3. They tend to aggravate Taurian energies. So the first 3 weeks of February, while in general, the general transits are super awesome and open and flowing with sweet aspects, for Taurus people in general, the Aquarian energies are a little bit too diffuse and too mental and too kind of distracted for, some Taurian taste. But when we get to the last week or so of the month, when the planets start moving into Pisces, that can be a little bit of a more natural match because water flows better with earth. Okay, so in general for Taurus this month, we've got some beautiful focus on the work, career sectors. There's some nice energy here in the 8th house that has to do with money from family, family money or business ventures or capital. If you need to get a loan, this is an amazing, amazing month for that. There's some really good energy around having some rest and peace and quiet. So if you're seeking that, you've got that potential coming this month. Always remember that astrological readings are potentials, They're not going to happen exactly the way we say it for everybody. Because first of all, there are too many possibilities to mention. But second of all, these are potentials. So it just kind of brings certain things into more likelihood. Okay, so hopefully you'll have some nice work, some nice money, and some nice peace and quiet blessings this month. And if you're finding you're getting aggravated, just take a little quiet personal space because the first several weeks of the month you might need to do that. Okay, so that's my quick overview. For you guys who want just little sound bites, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com to see some more simple sound bites. But for the rest of you who want more juicy details, I'm going to take you on an astrological adventure. So in order to do that, we need to know whether you're an early, middle, or late degree Taurus placement. I estimate that early born Tauruses will be April born Tauruses, or 0 to 9 degrees if you're watching for your sun, your rising or your moon, or you know your sun degree. This won't always be exact. Every once in a while I'll have somebody, on the edge there between 9 and 10 degrees, or like right at the beginning of May, say, hey, that's not matching up for me. And that's because the sun does not move into Taurus the same day every year. So these degrees and dates will get toggled a bit, but it works if you're close, okay? Anything close to these estimates. So middle degree Taurus around May 1st through 10th, or 10 through 19 degrees. Oh, and here, for whatever reason, I wrote late Gemini there. Sorry about that confusion. That's supposed to say late Taurus. And so late Taurus would be May 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees. Okay, so now that we know where you are, basically taking the month that the sign is in, the sun is in Taurus, and breaking it in threes. Now we can look at more juiciness. So this month, I want to give you some beautiful, awesome astrology, quick lessons on 2 planets, and then we'll look at how those planets are moving for early, middle, and late degree placements, and the things that look different about the charts and the things that look the same. I always see all of these glyphs. You look at this and it's like, it's a mess, and you want to run screaming. But if you break it down into smaller pieces of understanding, it's easier to follow. So all of these glyphs, I see them as people, and they have personalities that bring certain energies to wherever it is that they're going. I like to use the analogy of the murder mystery game called Clue that we had in the 80s. Maybe it was in the 90s too, and then it became a movie. But that's a whole other situation. Anyway, so in Clue, there's a murder mystery where there's a person, a weapon, and a location that they committed this act with. Okay, so I always like to look at that. The planet is the person who is doing something in your energy potentials. The sign it's moving through is the weapon. It's like what they're doing it with. And then the house is the area. So like Colonel Mustard with the candlestick and the conservatory. So the house is the field of experience that the energies of the planet and the sign are being acted out in. Okay. So on this idea of planets being people, understanding the archetypal energies of the planets will help you understand what energies they can bring when they move through certain sectors of your chart. So now I want to give you a fun, quick lesson about how Venus is like my grandma Marge and why, so that you can forever better understand Venus. And then I want to give you a lesson on Saturn to understand what Saturn brings. Then after those lessons, we'll come back and I'll show you where Venus is in each of the charts and how that translates, and where Saturn is in each of the charts and how that translates. Okay, so when we're thinking about Venus or any planet, it really helps to understand the energetic expressions of the planets, the archetypal expressions of the planets, by thinking of them as people. They have personalities. So each planet has multiple facets that make up its expression. Okay, so Venus always reminds me of my grandma Marge. And my grandma Marge, if you can imagine, okay, she's Italian, she's she was always seemed like she was smaller than me, even when I was a child. So when I would come to see her, she would run up to me with her hands up in the air, grab me by the face, kiss me on the mouth, say, I love you. She'd also tell all the grandkids how beautiful they are. Venus rules love. Venus rules compliments and self-esteem. She would then slip $5 in my pocket. Venus also rules money. And she would come at me with a fork and a meatball and pop a meatball in my mouth. Venus also rules sustenance, physical sustenance, and also emotional sustenance. So that feeling of being cared for, of being full, of being content. And it also rules aesthetics. So when we go into her house, there'd be this feeling of comfort and harmony and peace, which are also things that Venus rules. So it's like a cozy, warm, safe place with all of these energies wrapped up into it. So now you can understand Venus better, and you can always think of my grandma March. So whenever Venus is moving through an area, the energy of the sign it's moving through will, flavor all of this. And then, of course, the house that it's moving through will show the field of experience that Venus will bring these potential blessings to for the individual. Okay, so the house placement is going to be different for different people. And so we look to see what house Venus is moving through to see where these energies are having an increase in likelihood of manifesting. Okay, so understanding the archetype of the Saturnian energy can help us understand the potentials that Saturn brings when it is moving through wherever it is in the chart for us. So every placement, every sign, every planet has this range of potential expressions from lowest to highest. On the lower end, Saturn can bring hardship and difficulties and obstacles and challenges, feeling like you're walking through mud. It also very often comes with the experience of pressure. Pressure always makes me think of the pressure necessary to make a diamond, because that's what Saturn's trying to do. It's not just trying to torture you, Saturn is the taskmaster. It's stern. You can kind of just imagine. I always think of like a stern father, or really grandfather, like a grandfatherly energy that's stern. The energy often comes with wealth, the accomplishment of the Saturnian path. It's a wealthy taskmaster, stern and just sort of serious. So that it brings that energy. However, there is the other side. Okay, so the upper end of Saturn is that it can bring accomplishments. Okay, I'm going to just abbreviate accomplishments, fruition. It can bring things into form. So ideas, wishes, dreams that are up in the ethers, just kind of in the clouds. It can like gel them into form. And so Saturn transits can actually be times of great accomplishment, recognition, and gelling, like coming together. Many people experience Saturn transits as some of the best times of their life in that area of experience it's moving through. So what makes the difference between this side and this side? Usually I have found it's unresolved issues from the past, because these planets will test weak links. And if you have a perception, if you have anything that you brought with you from your genealogy, from your upbringing, from past life, however you want to look at this, any of these levels, Saturn's going to test these weak links. And it's going to want you to apply the taglines of Saturn, which are hard work, persistence, consistency. And when you apply these energies to whatever area that it's, working with you, then you can convert these challenges into these outcomes. And that's really the point of it. So Saturn will show you the areas you still have to work, and Saturn will show up for you the areas where you have done work and convert them into outcomes. Saturn can definitely affect serotonin levels. It can be depressive as well. So for certain people, this may become relevant. But again, the consistency of, first of all, getting health back on track, or the consistency of inner work. Inner work is where you acknowledge that We live in a holographic reality, and everything inside the person, going on all in there, all in your being, reflects outside into the external experience, and that's what we experience as our life. So when you own this part of it and you shift on the inside, then you change what you're experiencing on the outside, or how you experience what's going on in the outside. Okay, so understanding these energies of Saturn, then you can bring this whole equation to whatever field of experience Saturn is moving through. We look at the sign, and then that will be the global experience for everybody, Saturn moving through the sign that it's in. And then we look to the house to see for the individual signs what area of experience Saturn is bringing all of these Saturnian stories to. Okay, so hopefully now you have a very vivid understanding in your mind of these archetypal energies of Venus and Saturn. So let's look at how this is playing out. Okay, so Grandma Marge, for you early degree placements, is in the 8th house, but it will only be there for a little while longer, the early part of February, and then it will move on to the 9th. Okay, so for you early degree placements, my Grandma Marge's blessings are going to be in this publishing house. Long distance travel, teaching, learning, things having to do with writing. You know, if you want to publish a book and launch a book, love this month for it. And you can stay tuned to the general transits after the Taurus specific, so that you can see the dates that I love the most for launches. But lots of publishing, lots of travel, lots of opportunities, things with the church, things with spiritual studies, really beautifully enhanced in this month for early placements. And you middle degree placements, you'll be having those blessings come a little bit into February. And then you later degree placements, you'll have those 9th house blessings come more towards the end of the month. Okay, because it's staggered. So for the middle degree placements and the late degree placements, you'll have a longer period of time with Venus in the 8th. So depending on your exact middle degree placement, it could be a week or 2 weeks or so that Venus is still in the 8th before it gets to the 9th. And you late degree placements, you can see you have Venus here for much longer. So for most of the month, you'll have Venus, my Grandma Marge, blessing your 8th house. So for you middle and late degree people, what does Venus in the 8th look like? More potentials for earning money, making money, other people's money. Stock market, cryptocurrency, all that beautifully enhanced here. Family money, getting capital for something that you need, getting a loan. Love, love, love this month and love this placement for getting a loan. This is really, really awesome. Could also just be lots of romance and intimate connection for you with your honey, or if you're looking for somebody, this could be actually a really good time. I love this for online dating or dating in person, trying to find somebody to connect with. This is beautiful energy in the 8th here for Venus. Also, for those of you who are really into astrology and palmistry and tarot and just all of those crystals and all the yummy things that I love too, this 8th house is a spiritual house, you know, an esoteric, deep study house. So earning money or having some nice breakthroughs could be part of how that 8th house manifests with my Grandma Marge there. Okay, so now let's look at Saturn. Saturn is a totally different situation, as you know from what we just talked about. You can really see when we're looking at outer planets why it makes such a big difference to break it down into early, middle, and late, because you all in the early degree division, you've had Saturn in your 9th house for all of 2018, pretty much. So the story of hardship or difficulty or building or, you know, heaviness has been applied to your, and this is actually now starting to be true for your middle degree placements who you're just now at the end of 2018. You're just now getting in there really solidly. The end of the year and the beginning of 2019, depending on your exact placement. And this will come later for you late degree placements. But having Saturn in the 9th can bring some tests to your philosophies. The 9th house rules philosophy, like your viewpoint, your religion, your, you know, how you see life. And when Saturn's there, Saturn tests everything, wherever it is, you know. So you could be having a dark night of the soul or having the things that you really hold dearly tested, be tested. Now, of course, from those tests, you can gather more strength and be more engaged in the things that you studied, or you can leave those things and find things that you resonate with more. Different, people switching religious focuses or just general viewpoints on life. Some people can find that they're more depressed at this time. Saturn actually does, I've seen this so many times, can sap serotonin. So if you are feeling lower than usual, you may need some serotonin boosts. I'm not a doctor, so you've got to, look into these things to the degree to which you need assistance with this. If it's just a light kind of thing, being around animals, petting animals, cuddling with people, walking, fish oil, good doses of fish oil, if medically that's okay for you. All of those can help to increase serotonin levels, and that can turn out to be very, very helpful if you're feeling that sap. This can also be working to manifest and to build. So if you're learning and you're in education, gosh, you could be building a very strong future with your learning. If you're a teacher, you could also be building curriculum and building teaching. So early and middle degree people, all of these things are really right in your faces, have been, and are going to be for a while to come. Sometimes this puts pressure on long distance travel. And if you've been trying to get out of the country and you haven't been able to, or something having to do with immigration, this could bring delays, or it could bring the actual fruition. Remember the polarities. So the late degree placements, it's just about, now you can see this is interesting. In this chart, you can see Saturn is in the 9th house. Okay, so you late degree placements, you've been having this energy dance. You're dancing with it. But what you can't tell from looking at this chart is that Saturn is going to go retrograde, and it's going to get out of that 9th house and then go back into the 8th house for the late degree placements for a long time. Okay, and then once it goes back, then it's going to make its way back forward again. So you're still going to have some, influence in the 9th house, but there's still, for the late degree placements, probably a lot of stories of Saturn in the 8th. Okay, so Saturn in the 8th can have to do with debt, can have to do with family karma, relationship karma, getting that cleared up. I have a friend who's into Eckankar. I don't know if you know about Eckankar. I'm not an Eckist myself, but I resonate with a lot of the things that they talk about. And she always says that the Eckists, or the Mahanta says, you clear up karma by health or by coin. Okay, so you may have been having karma coming to be cleared up. So I have lots of recommendations for how you can clear up karma. You can look up things too, but one of the most powerful karma clearing exercises that's totally free is the Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. Pono. That's all one word. I just couldn't fit it in there. Ho'oponopono. Okay, so this is an ancient Samoan, it's Hawaiian, but it preceded the Hawaiians back to the Samoans who populated the islands. And the Ho'oponopono is a prayer, basically says, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And by applying this prayer to anybody who you think owes you anything, a lot of times the things that people are saying you owe them start to disappear. Because when we feel like somebody owes us something, we're really strongly attached to that, that in a holographic reality creates someone pointing, tapping on our shoulder saying, hey, you owe me something. But as we clear the decks, then that can just clear all of it up. So I've seen some pretty magical, tangible, financial shifts occur from working with this prayer, especially over a moon cycle. The power of the moon cycle, doing something for 28 days is just really, really effective. Okay, so Saturn in the 8th house can also mean challenges in your deep, intimate relationships. So you late degree people especially might have some more of this. For you middle degree people who recently have had Saturn move on from the 8th house, you may be getting gifts. When we have Saturn cross through a house, the more work we do, the more we're on task, the bigger we get gifts. When it leaves, Saturn leaves, usually leaves a gift. Sometimes it's very obvious. Sometimes it's getting freed from a relationship. Sometimes it's getting locked into a relationship that you want or going deeper. Sometimes it's, having a new relationship come in that is something that you really wanted, that you earned from doing the inner work where you changed your reflection and became a match for something else. So 8th house has a lot to do with money, resources, also spiritual studies, esoteric studies can be in there too. And mysteries. If you're working on solving a mystery, Saturn could put you on task for that. And as it leaves, it could bring even more lightness and breakthroughs. Okay, so those are the things most on my mind for Taurus. Now I want to talk about these beautiful dates. February is one of my favorite months of the whole year for doing anything important. So I'll give you the dates that I love, love, love for launches, for doing anything, that is a big deal. And I'll also give you the dates that I'm a little concerned about that I want you to be extra careful around. And so we'll go into all of those details now. So the theme of the month for February 2019 for all signs is 3 times the sweetness. And that is because literally we have 3 times as many sweet aspects as we do challenging ones. In the beginning of January, we started these really nice open skies with the stars, the planets moving direct. But January was a little bit dicey in the way that we had 2 powerful eclipses. And for some people, those brought amazing positive changes. For others, very stressful changes. And some people were just holding space for others as they went through the changes. And some positive changes still could have carried some stress because of just the newness of them. Trying to get into a new rhythm or having it come all of a sudden can carry its own kind of stress, even if it's a very positive thing. So February is going to have a totally different energy. The open stars of having all the planets be direct is going to continue through February 18th. So we've got all that going on. And then, like I mentioned, we actually have a massive amount of sweet aspects. We do have a second supermoon that is at its 1st degree. So this whole energy of clean slate is continuing. And that's just a very, major theme for all of 2019, actually, that's being initiated here at the beginning. I'm going to give you a list of the days that have sweet aspects and a list of the days that have challenging ones, and then we'll go into some more details. But definitely remember to go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, and sign up for my free email newsletter to receive a written version of these general transits delivered into your inbox a month early so that you have them visually for planning purposes. Okay, and if you are already on my email list and you're not getting my emails, then definitely check spam, social, events folders, and move them into your inbox to get your inbox the message that you want them there. Okay, so the sweet days are going to be, let's just make a little list over here. And so the sweet days, these happy ones, are going to be the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, 4th, 7th, 9th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 22nd, 23rd, and 27th. Okay, the challenging ones, and as I give you these dates, remember that we often feel the energy of a transit before or after the actual transit, so don't hang your hat too heavily on the exact date. Just know that present and the days around these days are the transits. Okay, so the challenging ones, where we'll just kind of put a little guy having some difficulties there. Okay, so we have a challenging transit around the 1st, the 12th, the 14th, and the 22nd. And also in those days at the end of the month, there's, on March 1st, there is a challenging aspect, so you might feel some of that in the days at the end of the month. But in general, you can see a lot more sweetness there. And when you track this over time, you can really see a difference, like the mood of the month is very much directly affected by the amount of sweet aspects we have versus challenging ones. Okay, so let's just do a little summary of some of the major ones here, and then definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com to get a list of the rest and what you can experience with them. So on the 31st, I'm going to list the Saturn in Capricorn, sextile Neptune in Pisces again. Okay, so let's see. Saturn there. Neptune there. Because as you can see, like here at the beginning of the month, they're only a degree apart. So that aspect, that beautiful 60-degree angle, it's one of the most favorable in astrology, is still going to be echoing out for many days, even a couple of weeks, the first couple of weeks of February. You'll be feeling the sweet vibes from this sweet lineup. Whenever planets that are outer planets get together, in any configuration, they last longer than the ones that move more quickly. Okay, so you'll be feeling those sweet vibes. And in general, this is characterized by material gains coming from spiritual focus and pursuits, or artistic focus and pursuits. So kind of like a blending of the sides of the brain, a blending of the seen and unseen. Okay, so the next thing around that time, and this is one you really got to watch out for. Mars in Aries square Pluto in Capricorn. Okay, so we got Mars in Aries there. Pluto in Cap here. You can see they're at 21 degrees right from the beginning there. So they're matching. And that's a square. That's like a... No, we don't like that one as much. Now, it is true that challenging aspects can definitely spark something important. And for the seeker, we don't have to look negatively upon these challenging aspects, because they could sometimes give us the catalyst that we need to do something, or it could be a conflict that sparks a breakthrough. But as far as like your general safety, definitely be careful around those days, because it's just the kind of energy that could actually be dangerous. You don't want to antagonize a crazy person in the beginning of the month there. You want to be careful with your physical body. You want to guard your head, guard your bones. Okay, so now we start the sweetness spree. Venus and Uranus getting together on February 2nd. So we've got Venus here. We have Uranus here. Okay, so this is going to move into configuration with this. Venus rules love, beauty, money, self-esteem, design projects. Uranus is the great awakener, the great bringer of surprises. So in the days before and after the 2nd, sweet surprises are more likely. And of course, that's happening at the same time as that awkward, possibly dangerous aspect the day before. That's why I always say we have to remember, like, these are layers of a truth that are happening all at once. And if you're trying to plan a launch or doing something important, your personal experience is going to outweigh any date something is, quote, supposed to be good. You may feel the icky aspect earlier and then the nice one later. You just got to tune in. But if you know what's going on, it helps you to follow these things. And I see it happen all the time, that people who are sensitive, people who are empathic, people who are paying attention will tend to feel like, wow, something's up in the stars, And so you have your answers here as to what's going on. Another sweet aspect on the 3rd between Mercury and Jupiter. Where are the buddies? Okay, Mercury and Jupiter. I'm going to move into configuration there. So that is really great for anything important: communication, mobility, important connections, travel, could manifest in wonderful ways, having to make important purchases for devices or cars. I love this energy for that. Then we've got the new moon at 15 degrees of Aquarius on February 4th. So lots of sweet energy there. This new moon is also in a conjunction with Mercury and a beautiful aspect with Jupiter, which enhances it. Then the sun, on the 7th, the sun is in a beautiful aspect with Jupiter. So whenever anything is in a nice aspect with Jupiter, it's like benevolence, good luck, sweetness. So the sun will move there. And then, of course, these will be together as well. So that could bring important news, important connections. More sweetness and positive surprises on the 9th with Mercury and Uranus getting together. The 12th and 13th, this is one of those times to watch, because this is where Mars and Uranus get together in Aries. So both of those can be a little bit aggressive, can be a little bit jarring. Aries energy can be a little bit physically, could be dangerous. So just watch your body. And Aries rules the head. So, and again, just don't antagonize crazy people. If you're driving, it's not the time to like make some sort of negative movement towards a driver that you don't like. And also things like not texting when you're walking, just paying extra attention in the days around the 12th and 13th, because tensions will be running higher. So I always say you can prepare for these kind of energies by trying to rest, get good sleep, be relaxed, so that when they come, you can kind of just navigate through them as a spiritual ninja. I always use the example with aspects like this, like if you're a grandparent and you have your grandkids coming to visit, you could either leave out all your white linens and all your white stuff, only to have the kids destroy them, because that's just what kids do when they're playing, right? Or you can swap them out for the kid-friendly things and then have a rest-free time, so that when the chaos and madness comes, that all the things that you want to remain safe are, and you don't have to stress about them. So that's what I always think about when there's an aspect like this. Like if you know some stress is coming, and you just kind of like, take your magnesium, take your B vitamins, you just have your coherence plan situated, then it makes it much easier. Okay, so back to sunny skies and sweetness again with our little happy cloud there, with the 17th and 18th. We've got Venus in Capricorn making a beautiful aspect to Neptune in Pisces. And, okay, so let's show you where that is. Let me say there, Venus in Cap. Okay, so you can see here Venus is in Sag, but it is going to move into Capricorn by the 17th and 18th. And that's going to make a nice aspect with Neptune here. Dreamy, creative, spiritual breakthroughs, things like that. And then the Sun in Aquarius is going to come together with Uranus at this point in a beautiful way. Okay, so that's later in the month when this joins into a configuration with this. But again, the 17th, 18th, just sweetness. I love it for important things. Love, money, idealism, romance, art, creativity, expression of every kind, action, motivation, inspiration are just all enhanced beautifully at this time. And then the full moon, that second supermoon of the year. Supermoon is a moon that is actually closer to us. When you look at it, you're like, what? Why is the moon so big? It's because it's closer. And of course, it exerts more gravitational effects when it's closer. So it tends to be more intense, more emotional. So do prepare for an extra emotional full moon. But for the most part, there are sweet aspects with this full moon, with 0, almost 1 degrees of Virgo on the 19th. So lots of wonderful things coming to fulfillment, fruition. Could be some drama. Some people experience negative drama at the full moons, but there is a lot of sweetness at this particular full moon. Moving along to the 22nd, we've got a square. That's one of our challenging aspect days. We've got a square with Mercury and Jupiter. And where are you guys? Okay, so Mercury is going to come and Jupiter is going to be in a square. Of course, Mercury is not going to be here at this point. It's going to move over there, and that's where the square is going to happen. But, communication, mobility, things like that, kind of getting a little pressure from Jupiter. Even when Jupiter has kind of like a challenging aspect, it tends to manifest in a softer way than the rest of the outer planets. So I usually list like just exhaustion for this one, like being overtired. And of course, if you're going because of all these sweet aspects and because you have this open window and because, the Mercury retrograde shadow period is going to start on February 19th, which is true, then you could be tired because you're trying to fit a lot in. And really, it is important to note that I love this month up until about the 18th or 19th. So we'll just say February 1st through the 19th, or we'll even just say the beginning of January. But since we're in February, we'll talk about this through the 19th here. is some of my best favorite launch times in the whole year. You will have other opportunities, but in April, Jupiter is going to go retrograde, and it's always nice to have Jupiter direct when you do important things. And then, of course, we don't have as many retrograde issues as we did last year, but it really is good to take advantage of this time. I know that I'm planning to just run it really hard until around this point, and then just start to roll in the backdrop again. Okay, so another sweet aspect on the 23rd. Actually on the 22nd, there's one that could go either way. Venus gets together with Pluto. So Venus will make it over here to connect with Pluto. And that, Pluto's intensity, and Venus is love and money and self-esteem and things like that. So that could kind of go either way. Some intense news or an intense experience with love or money. Could be an ego battle, something like that. Another sweet aspect on the 23rd, another sweet aspect on the 27th, and then on March 1st, we've got that square with Venus and Uranus. It's going to come over. Of course, you can't see the square actually happening here now because Venus will have moved quite a bit, and that's when it will come into the square configuration, which is a challenge. So those days at the end of the month, there could be, love spats, money issues, things like that. But remember that when we're talking about aspects like with Venus, usually it blows over in a couple of days. So it's not always a big deal. It might feel kind of stressful at the time. So these are the things that are most on my mind for the general transits. Really sweet month full of awesome possibilities, amazing for launches moving forward, some of the best stars of the year for doing important things. So definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. You can check out my blog. You can check out my astrology apprenticeship program if you love how I teach astrology and you'd like to learn for your own personal or professional purposes. If you'd love to be a coach as your profession and bring your business online, I can teach you how to do that. You can check out my coach certification and online business course, also at anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely check out my new publishing company, Luminous Life Books and Beyond, along with my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days with these magical, powerful, super effective prayers and affirmations. So you can see that at anniehelpsyou.com along with all kinds of other goodies. If you'd love written horoscopes by me, you can check out my website, cozybysweetstarlight.com. At cozybysweetstarlight.com, I write written horoscopes, often with different information than I share in the reports. And I always put those up a month early as well. And I've got all kinds of other lifestyle blogs written by me and other up-and-coming bloggers. If you are a traveler, you can check out my website, astrologykissedtravelbliss.com, for astrology travel reports monthly. If you are going to travel, you can see what the stars are like for traveling. And I also have other blogs on there. And definitely check out my husband's website, iamhelios.com, iamhelios.com. He's always got new and different things on there, so you can check out his tarot offerings, and he also does astrology readings as well. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye!